Hi, today's entry to the Cybersecurity Glossary is a 3 for the price of 1. We're delighted to be joined by Javvad Malik, who's an evangelist at Know4. And Know4 are a Forrester Wave leading security awareness and training provider. Today we're going to be discussing phishing, vishing, and smishing. Try saying that 3 times fast. It's not easy. So hi, Javvad. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
First of all, what's meant by the term phishing?
So phishing with a PH is a fancy word, but what it basically means is essentially those emails that you get that aren't true. So it's sent by a bad person. And many years ago, maybe you've seen those. There's like, I'm a Nigerian prince. I want to get this much money out of the country. You'll be millions richer, but first send me some money via Western Union. So those were kind of like some of the original phishing emails that most people have heard of. What's happened is over the years, these have really evolved and they become quite elaborate. So now, you'll get very convincing looking emails that claim to come from Netflix saying, oh, your account's about to be cancelled, there's a problem. And you're so worried, you click on a link and then it asks you to put in your credit card details again. And because it looks like Netflix's page, you put it in because you don't want to lose access. And lo and behold, a bad guy's now got your payment details. So all of these types of emails, sometimes it's send us money, sometimes they're trying to get your password, sometimes they claim to be someone within your organization saying, I'm the CEO and you need to send this money to a new supplier. And many people unfortunately fall for these.
What's the key differences between phishing, vishing, and then smishing?
Oh, yeah. So the key differences between all of these terms are phishing typically is in relation to the scams that come through on email. Vishing is voice phishing. So these are where they're a bit more bold and they'll phone you up on the phone. It happened to me actually like a couple of weeks ago. I was sitting here working and my mum called me and she was like, oh, come quick. I said, what's up? She goes, it's from BT. They're saying that your broadband's going to get disconnected because there's a hacker on your network. And so I answered the phone and they were like, yes, we're from Microsoft and we're working with BT and you've been hacked. So it is a classic phishing scam because they weren't from BT, they weren't from Microsoft, they weren't anyone. They were just trying to get information or get some payment. So that's phishing. And smishing is SMS based phishing or text messages. And these are things that we've seen actually rise quite a lot, especially recently with the coronavirus. We've seen lots of smishing or texts come through that look like they're coming from the government saying you're entitled to some COVID relief funds or check how many cases there are in your area. And people click on those links and they'll either try to, again, steal some information from you, or they'll try to download some viruses or malware onto your phone to then do all sorts of other stuff.
So what would be your top tips for spotting a phishing, smishing, or vishing attack?
Yeah, so these are sometimes very difficult to actually spot. On email, they're kind of a bit easier because you can hover over links on your desktop. You can see where they're going to, who it's from, who sent you the email and what have you. But it's a lot harder to figure that out on text or on a voice call. So the best way to do it is just make yourself familiar with how your organization will contact you. Your bank will never, they'll never send you an email with a link in it or a text message with a link in it. If you're in doubt, either report it to your IT team. If you have an IT team, if it's in a corporate environment, just say, hey, I've received this email or this text message. What do you think of it? And they can investigate that for you in a safe manner. Or if it's from someone like Netflix or something, don't click on the link in the email or the text message. Open up your browser, go to Netflix as you normally would, log into your account, and then check over there for any messages. And if 9 times out of 10, there's going to be nothing there. So in that case, just delete the email and just be done with it. Whatever you do, don't click on it, don't respond to it. Same thing when people phone you up. The best thing to do is just hang up the phone if you're in doubt. BT would never, or whoever your broadband provider is, they won't call you up like that. Hang up and then phone up your broadband provider from the approved number that you know to be true and say, hey, I received this call, was this actually you? And they can confirm it for you.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the advice would be to err on the side of caution where possible.
Yep, when in doubt, chicken out.
And what are the potential consequences of phishing, vishing, or smishing attack? What are some of the consequences that you've seen in your experience?
So the consequences can be quite severe. We've on an individual basis, we've heard of people who've been swindled out of tens of thousands of pounds because they've ended up installing something on their machine, or they've believed someone to be from the bank, and they've read out codes to them that have been texted to them from the legitimate account, and bad guys have used it to log on and empty out their bank accounts. So there's lots of those cases that happen. From a corporate environment, it's even worse. We've often heard about ransomware, where criminals they install this virus on all of your machines that locks all your files, and until you pay the money, that you can't work. And a lot of these are delivered through phishing. So a lot of your malware is actually delivered through phishing. A lot of times when they get your credentials, and then they can log onto your accounts and they can read your emails, they can read communications between your CEO and partners and all these sorts of things. They can be really damaging.
Fantastic. Thank you, Javvad, for that detailed explanation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today's video. Be sure to keep following us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube for the daily video updates, where we'll be joined by a host of experts to discuss a range of cybersecurity terminology.